All right, welcome back. I just got to hit this text real quick because I know this text is probably going to kill me. Light bill, power bill. This person said, you know, they had their light bill in their hand, and the surcharge is $73. The bill itself is $70. What's going on? The minister, when he was here last week, promised that he's willing to come back and discuss anything that falls under his portfolio. You know, I must say one thing about the Minister of Communication and Work. I like his energy. I like his drive. He's open for dialogue. I want the minister to know that we're here behind him, you know, 100%. But we do have questions, and people should be able to ask those questions in a constructive way and you know, to satisfy their own support. So, you know, I don't want the minister to ever think that we don't have his back. But hopefully he'll be here again, and you guys can ask him those questions about the power bill. Go ahead, John. Speak your mind, please.
Yes, good evening, me again.
Good evening.
Sorry for calling back, man.
No. Why would you be sorry? Thank you for calling.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I was listening to the minister, right? And he talked about part of the contract that the government gonna have the option to buy back the development, I guess, in 20 years. You know, they invest $75 million now. You know, it's just a really lucrative proposal for them. In 20 years, man, that thing going to be value 150 million, 200 million. You know what I'm saying? Where the BVI government going to get that kind of money to buy back this place in 20 years? You know, stuff like that. I heard in the proposal have me leery, you know. Yeah, you at 20 years, well, how much it going to cost? You know what I'm saying? You realize these people ain't going to be losing no money, you know.
Yeah, one of the things, I'll cut you out real quick and just say that one thing I understand about the investor is is an institution.
Yep.
And the institution will always win.
Yep.
Whether the guy or the people who own the business or the investment firm who owns the money, whether they die off tomorrow, the institution wins. And it's a long-term thing for them. Now I hear what you're saying. I mean, it is obvious if you have a buyback clause, you're going to have whatever metric system they're using again to figure out value at the end after the investor don't get what he said he wants, and then this add into what he wants. It's all about monetary return. There is a value placed on that, and you're right, that value is going to be high as time progresses and he gets more and more money. Then the amount that's owed or the buyback amount will get smaller and smaller and smaller. That makes sense. But now I put a question to the minister, and I wasn't trying to be rude. I wasn't trying to challenge the minister's position. I work with simple numbers, and I want to be clear with this. The minister said there's three sets of money. There's money for the land-based development, there's money for the port-side development, and there's money that is not upfront money that's going to come over a period of time. Initial investment is $2 million up front. The rest of it is a $400,000 or $500,000 long term. Now, to me, this YC makes sense. Either they're going to wait for the money to come in from what they're making off or what they're bringing in to pay us that money each year, or the government's going to still have to find money to go ahead quickly to advance the development in the land side of it. When I say land, I mean downtown, road town, and all the other areas themselves, and then use that as saying, okay, we could justify spending the $10 million now because we have a guarantee for $500,000 each year for the next 10 years to help pay this money back. There's all kind of thinking. But let's not fool ourselves. You're absolutely right. This
Yeah,
thing gonna
I'm here.
cost a lot of money. My question to the minister is, if the people we got that are supposed to be so smart in accounting, we supposed to got some brilliant people working in our government department. The information that was done to help bring us to the point where it was probably done by a foreign company, they supposed to now say to our people, if you really look at how much money they're making after 15 years, after 20 years, after 25 years, I believe personally at 30 years, that should have been a walkaway point. Not 48 years. I don't care what nobody tell me. You can't tell me that after making 200, 300, whatever it is, $1 million and a 50 or 60 million dollar initial investment, that's not enough money. Something is wrong with the system. And again, ain't nobody gonna leave here and say that I try and kill nothing. These are the questions, and this what makes sense. If I'm in a negotiating room, I want the deal. They want the deal, they want the most of it, and we want to make sure that we're not killing ourselves for the next 48 years to ensure that they make this big amount of money and we don't get nothing out of it.
Yeah, that's my concern. Like, a lot of people calling in and saying, let's go with the deal. We got the investment, the investor here to do it. But people don't realize the ramification about these things. Yeah, it might sound beautiful, you know, but to give away your pause, like I said, for 48 years, man, you giving away the birthright of these young brothers and sisters coming up for almost 50 years. You understand what I'm saying? And I know they're saying that the government gonna have a lot of control, but when this company invests all this money, how much local people gonna be able to get store space out in this plaza, man? You probably hear the big stores and whatnot coming in and whatnot. The square footage, I could see all people gonna be relegated to craft alive, you know. And here it is, the big stores and whatnot, the little Switzerland and the big box stores with the Indians and the jewelry and whatnot. And that's the next thing too. It has so much competition in the Caribbean with selling jewelry and perfume and liquor. Do we want to fall in the same category, or we want like a different thing for the tourists when they come here, you know? So I think we really have to just look at this proposal and don't jump into it like a lot of people say, let's get it, this is a good deal. People, you know, you got to look for these pie in the sky deals and whatnot. Like I said, the cruise ship companies, they're in it for themselves, you know.
Well, one thing I gotta say, Carl, I must run with the minister on this one again. You know, I firmly gonna tell people, man, if you got a little money, you got some understanding. If the system is fair to you, which I think it's there already. The minister said they're gonna have a symposium. Where they're going to be able to just exhibit all the different options and the business opportunities. So that right there, I run in with. And before you know, I just knock the whole thing down. I'm saying to BV Islanders, who got some money put aside, who got some opportunity, look at the business, go to this thing and figure out which one of them franchises you can get, and let's run with this thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I commend the minister for trying to improve the tourism industry and whatnot in the BVI. I mean, like, he working hard. You got to commend him, man. But, you know, still, we have to ask questions and serious questions about a deal like this.
No problem, Carl. I do have a next call. Thank you so much. All right. So, yeah, I mean, I guess this is what it's all about, though. The minister is encouraging this, guys. He's encouraging dialogue, conversation, and we need to have a conversation. Let's be open about it. So, go ahead, you and speak your mind, please.
Hello.
All right, go ahead. Thank you.
Good evening, Sam. Good show.
Yes, thank you so much.
I want to ask you a question. You believe the BVI is serious about tourism? I mean, you watch the tourism industry globally.
Yes.
Do you believe we are really serious about tourism?
Well, let's put it this way. No. I don't think we were before. I see a change in attitude. I see a difference in the government that we have now. I see an aggressive government who really going after these different areas. Remember, I could say this on air. This is the same government, and I read some of those policies. I read some of those conversations. I got one saved in my iPad right now where the same minister, Mr. Orlando Smith, said in the House that we have to look at how we could manage the cruise industry. The information he sent out was not bad, but the cruise industry took it as if you were censoring the amount of people they could bring to the country at that time. And that, a lot of people felt, is what killed the government that last time around.
What part from the government? What about the people of the BVI? You believe the people of the BVI serious about tourism?
No, not the locals. Not the indigenous people of the country. They're not serious. They don't care about it. They don't understand it. Most of them. Not all. Most of them. There's a few of us who drive taxi who are in the business to make money, but we're not in the business of really fostering, developing, and growing tourism. We think about just our little pocketbook, how much money we can make today. We don't think about the repercussion of treating that customer good. So at the end of the day, you make your money, but he leave the territory selling it for you, where you doing less. I mean, our customer service, we got people working in our customer service industry, in restaurants and hotels, who treat customers and treat them bad, local and foreigners. So no, they're not serious about tourism.
Well, one of the things I would like to see is more exposure, and for other people, we get more seriously committed to the tourism product. I think that the BVI has tremendous value, and not just serious in terms of money making, but serious in terms of protecting our reefs and protecting, cleaning up the place and the garbage and how we treat the island and that kind of stuff. Just be serious.
Yeah.
I'll say one thing on the new deal, because it's an interesting deal, and it's something that you have to watch carefully how it's implemented. But the best part about the deal to me is that it allows us to make more money from the visitors that come to the territory.
Who's us? Who's us? You mean
the BVI?
The people themselves, or the true taxes and so forth with government?
Let's put it this way. Throughout the whole Caribbean, everybody would like to be able to raise their passenger tax to $15 a head. Mm-hmm. Because I'm sure that they know if they can increase the passenger tax, they obviously have more, you're taxing the people who are coming more. But we haven't been able to do it throughout the Caribbean region. It could be because we haven't been able to farm one body, or for whatever the reason, or maybe the passengers want more, the cruise ships want more value. But this deal, my understanding is that the tax is going to be raised. It's going to probably be cut in half, and the half that's being raised is actually what's going to be financing this project and paying back for the project, which to me is a great opportunity, because regardless of how much money you say the cruise ship is going to make out the deal, the cruise ship is guaranteeing that he is going to bring the passengers that we are going to tax, or that he is going to tax.
Well, Carla, can I say something?
I would be really concerned if our citizens, me and you, were going to be asked to pay that tax that the cruise ship partners are going to be making. But if the money can come from the visitors, and we can get something out of it, and be serious about our tourism product, because to me that's the most important thing about any part of this deal. Worrying about what we are going to do with the product that we have.
Well, Carl, let me say this. Yes, I agree with you. Overall, we'll make more money. Of course, more people to sell, more people to make money from. The government overall will make more money, but they're not making more money just because the tax went up. If the head tax does increase, the government still gets whatever it's getting now for the next 15 years. They don't get any of that increase. As a matter of fact, it almost seems like we're losing $1, because I believe that in season we're making $7. I could be wrong on that, or $6. If it is $6, we're not.
Correct. The minister clearly said that we make $7 in season and we make $2 out of season.
Yes. So the information out that's been coming out is that we will get, if it raised to 15, we will get $6
Initially, yes.
For the first 15 years, and the other people get 9. Now I pose the question to the minister.
They won't get 9 because there's a portion of that money that's going back into.
Yes, that's the investment.
I understand the formula, but the point that I'm making to you is that the best part about the deal is that they're guaranteeing you that you're going to get a certain amount of cruise ships, and that you, the taxpayers, they have agreed to charge their passengers that they bring in. You see, if the cruise ships weren't the one who was saying that they're guaranteeing this money from their own passengers, that's an important fact.
Oh, yeah.
I'm bringing you a ship full of people, and I want a percentage of the tax that I'm getting from them to finance a deal that we're going to do. So, I think that portion of the deal was looking at.
No, Carla, I couldn't agree with you more. It's a 300% support by me.
I'll let you go now. But the one last thing that I find interesting about the interview you did last week with the minister was the question, well, it might have been a spotlight, where they were using some numbers about the amount of money that cruise ship passengers spend. And they talked about how much money the cruise ship passenger spends in the BVI
per head,
versus
$100
per head versus how much he spends in St. Thomas. And it was interesting when you develop your industry and you become more serious about the industry that you can extract more money from the cruise ship passenger. The question I asked the minister to me was more complicated. I was trying to get the minister to have the cruise ships stay longer, so that the cruise ships could either leave at midnight or stay overnight or something.
Which really will extract that money.
Yeah, so that a lot of people who play music in the restaurants and stuff could really see, a big portion of the money. But the minister said that we'd have to tackle that question about gambling and whether we'd open a
and they don't want to touch that right now.
And that's the point I'm making about being serious about tourism. So there's a lot of things for the BVI to discuss and decide how committed and how serious we're going to be about the tourism industry.
No, absolutely, you're right, Carl. I think that's all part of some of the disappointment. I remember Michelle Page even outlining when I was at Bitter End 4 years ago, is the fact that she was saying that people are willing to spend money on areas where they feel comfortable spending. So she was suggesting to the government at that time that they develop some of these other areas, clean up the place, put in good facilities in some of the other beaches, eliminate some of the overcrowdedness on Cane Garden Bay, and shift people to other areas. That they studied the spending habit and behavior of their customers, and they know for a fact that once people are able to be comfortable in their surroundings, they will spend the money. They will spend the money, and this is what these guys are telling us right now. That they're telling us that there's going to be a higher demographic of people now coming on the ship. You're going to have to step up your vehicles, step up your tours. You're going to have to obviously charge more money. They're telling us this from a tourist perspective, because they've already figured out. They already figured that these people have money to spend, more money to spend. So I think we could have probably put some of those same infrastructure in years ago. But it also shows the fact that we weren't serious, and we're still not serious. 100%. So I appreciate the call.
Maybe I'll listen about this call. Thanks, sir.
All right, thank you, caller. All right, ladies and gentlemen. So. We're going to start wrapping up. I'm probably going to be open for 1 or 2 more calls. I do have a lot of texts. I want to hit those texts before we start to wrap up. If anybody call, we'll entertain the call. But please, if you call, just make your call short and sweet. I know everybody, I'm glad that people are actually taking on the whole dialogue thing and keep the calls coming. We do have 10 more minutes left. This person said, they say, why so many people are so negative about the development? Ladies and gentlemen, we are a developed society. If we can't, if one person can't say what they want to say without you feeling it's negative, I mean, you could say what you have to say. That's what debates and discussion is all about. Is not everybody going to agree with what you're saying. But if you could have a conversation about it, let's all agree to disagree. And then just have a good conversation. I mean, that caller that called just now told some very interesting thing out there, and obviously he was watching the interview with the minister. Let's go to the phone real quick. You want to speak your mind? Go ahead, please.
Hey, Sam, how are you doing?
I'm good, and how about you?
Hey, good night.
You call my name like you know me.
Listen, let me ask you, who the stock should belong to? You, the people, or the government?
This belongs to you.
This is our talk show.
This is your show.
Okay. When on this show we want you to be more, not a yes with the government, because you make them too lazy.
I got
You
you.
understand?
I got you.
It coming too much like a yes man show. Yes, the government. You're even just like a politician.
But you haven't given me anything yet to disagree. You have to give me something to disagree.
I'm been listening via to like all the other people. You understand? Everybody else calling is like it's going too much yes. If it's all show we want more, like you could do better, run faster, walk. You understand?
Yeah. So,
And,
so that's why I'm engaging you to tell me what's on your mind. What do you think about the cruise ship development?
Well, I'm really on a cruise ship scene right now.
Okay.
Now I'm on the Sister Island,
Okay.
out coast.
Okay.
Right?
Which
And
one?
Especially Joe's Van Dyke and Anigara.
All right.
We have our main government administration building. There's still no backup generator, no light when current go. You understand me?
Yes, sir.
We've been talking to the chief of police. He keeps saying it's the government to free up the dollars. Now we hear them talking about the going to build brand new station in Eastern over X amount of millions of dollars. A generator even a couple $1,000. We still don't have a backup. And when somebody commit a crime, they tell them come tomorrow because you ain't got no light. So we could lock you up. There's a bunch of nonsense going on. You understand? We need to get this thing here sorted out. And with like the emergency vehicle. Every time they bring a vehicle, say like an Anigara or Joe's Van Dyke, they give us a new, nice vehicle. When you look, they come back, like they bring a nice police jeep here one time, not too long, they come back another month. Oh, it's too good for Joe's Van Dyke. They take it back to Tatola. In no time, they wreck it over there. They take an ambulance over in Anigara. They take it off of Anigara. It's too good for Anigara. In Joe's Van Dyke, when a patient gets sick here, they got to call you with your pickup truck while we're just running some blocks in, some steel in, some garbage to put a tourist in that's dying with a heart attack or something, with his foot out. Oh God, they could be a little bus, like what do they have West End, make it up, put something you could lay down nice in it, bam in it, but there's no kind of emergency vehicle. The little jeep they have there, you even can't fit in it on a stretcher, you foot them way out, you gotta be holding it to, no, you can't come better than that. Must come better than that, Sam.
I hear you, Carla. Carla, I'm going to share a little bit of your feelings. I was in Joe's Van Dyke. I'm sure you know I call you, see what you had on the menu. I know who this is. And I tell you, one of the things that's disappointing is that every time I go to Joe's Van Dyke, White Bay, I personally sent the minister who's in charge right now my ideas for, putting on some buoys and stuff in front of that beach, because somebody going to get killed one of these days when all these drunks come over from St. John and St. Thomas. They can't do this in St. Thomas, St. John, but they do it here. They pull their boat, they slingshot their ankles up on the dock, up on the sand. The boat is blocking the pathway from other folks who want to swim, and it creates a very a nasty situation, because you're swimming among oil and fuel littered water. But the system, obviously, they're working on comprehensive beach thing, but these are things that could be done immediately. Yesterday, I came over on a boat. I was over there again, and I came back on a ferry boat. And there's a lady that came across in a wheelchair. She has a nurse with her and her husband. She's met in West End by the ambulance. How did she get to the ferry dock? Somebody in a truck had to bring her there. So I hear what you're saying, my friend, but I'll tell you this, and I'll put the ownership is on you guys, the people of Joe's Van Dyke. Last year, all of the campaigners, all of the politicians were in Josephine Dyke, and they were campaigning on these glorified things they were going to do. They were going to fix the waterfront. They were going to deal with banking. They were going to deal with... I remember all of those things. And now the campaign is done, and like you said, now you hear talk about building brand new police station in Roatan. Roatan already have 2 police stations, but somebody going to present an argument that they ain't good enough. They're going to do one in East End. East End already got one, but somebody present an argument that the one in East End ain't good enough. The people just, when they got to raise up, the people just, when they got to come up to Tortola and march in front of the government building.
I tell them about the swim area in White. I tell Wasasa, the conservation, the fishery, we need a swimming area. Too many boats coming in there. As a matter of fact, I went and I buy a whole bale of yellow floating line with the buoys to help make the buoy, to make the thing. And nobody come over. It's like, you can't up them people too much. Unless they start doing things like bringing in another electricity company, so we have a choice in doing things like taking $1 from half each tourist tax money to give us the indigenous people. We can't be yipping them. We got to keep going for better.
No, I hear what you're saying, Carla. I hear what you're saying. I respect the comment, but just in my own defense, I think if you pick up any newspaper or read anything, you'll probably know who Sam is. I mean, I ain't taking it laying down just so. But when it comes to something that I support, I gonna support it. Yes, I gonna be a yes man on this one. I like the cruise ship dock extension. I think it's a great deal. I want to see the people of the BVI hopefully become long-term investors in this opportunity. So that's my only concern. And again, I'm in the transportation business. I want to make sure that independent taximen have as much access, as much freedom as they did before to the customers that the tour operators will probably most likely get because of all the things that are being put in place. I also do tours, excursion. I had an excursion to Josephine Dyke. So I understand how to move people from Tortola over to Josephine Dyke, put them on ATV tours, take them around Josephine Dyke, and show off some of the sister islands and so forth. I do trips to Virgin Gorda as well. So there's a lot of opportunities, but you know, again, the politicians them that come with the bright ideas. They know everything that is needed, everything that needs to be done to help improve the lives of people. But guess what? Yeah, they don't do anything. They don't do anything after the election because, you know, something else is taking priority all of a sudden. I think the little things that could be done immediately should be priority. As long as it improves the lives of the massive, and it can help move people forward and build more entrepreneurship and help our people them to become long-term investment in their own country. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a good show. I got like 22 more texts. I can't read them. I'm tired. I'm ready to go home. I really appreciate the calls tonight. Thank you guys so much for calling in. Sending your texts. We still have a lot of texts that we didn't get to read, and some of them texts are really good. I'm actually going to hold on to these texts until next week. In wrapping up, obviously the conversation was dominated by the cruise ship business. I did want to talk about what's happening with the Calypsonian, their situation and what's happening with that. But next week, we'll have those guys on air. I think they're going to have a press conference this week, and after they launch that press conference, we'll have more information to run with. So we'll have some of those guys on the show next week. Hopefully we'll have a really good carnival season. So with that said, again, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you so much for participating. And no matter what nobody out there say, you know, don't be afraid to express yourself for or against. You have a right to express yourself. Just be constructive with it. All right. So, guys, thank you again. We'll see you next week. God's bless.